For the last little part of our measurement lesson, I just briefly want to talk about the International System of Units, or the SI system. Um, it is used by scientists around the world so that they have a reference point when talking to other scientists, right? Um, so it's very difficult if we're talking like degrees Fahrenheit, and then in another country they're talking degrees Celsius. There, it gets lost in translation. So it's super important that everyone's speaking the same language, and this is the language of unit measurement in science. So, a couple of things: the kilogram is the unit for mass. It's weight on a scale. Uh, the meter is a unit for length. You can see this ruler here. The base unit for time is the seconds. That's pretty much universal, even not in the metric system or this international system. Um, the measurement for atoms, well, let's say, because it's not just atoms, let's say amount is the moles amount. AMOUNT. We'll talk about that in the next unit in great detail. The unit for power is the ampere. If we were taking physics, we would talk about that, but we aren't. So, temperature is the Kelvin. When we talk about gases, we will talk about this in more detail. Um, the base unit for light is the candela. Again, physics gets into that more than we will, definitely. Um, so these are the base units. They're the building blocks of all measurements, and they're based on standard values. Uh, there also are some derived units, which means these are calculated units. They're formed by multiplying or dividing base units to measure something different. Right? Um, so this is velocity or speed is measured in meters per second. This is area. Length times another length is area. See how it's derived? Two things multiplied together. Volume is length times length times length. Meters cubed. We'll be talking about that in much more detail. Mass times acceleration is force. And we will be talking about that not so much. It's more of a physics thing, but we will a little bit. And we're not going to worry about this one at all. One, though, that I want to add in there is density. That is one that we do talk about. And it is mass divided by volume. That's much more important for chemistry than some of these others. So those are the base units of the international system. We'll be talking in these units. Whenever I talk about mass, I use grams, kilograms. I don't ever use pounds. The same with length is always going to be meters and centimeters, never feet or inches. So it's just something that you have to keep in mind when we're talking with our scientific language.